What happens to a bully who goes unchecked? They don't just stop, They grow, they multiply, they thrive. It starts small, an insult here, a power move over there. But when no one stands up to them, the bully gets stronger, emboldened. They learn how to recruit others, how to proselytize their brand of fear and manipulation. So they find accomplices, allies, people willing to follow their lead and teach them the art of war. But it's not the noble kind of war, it's the war of cowards. But here's the caveat: bullies don't operate alone, they're incapable of operating alone. They recruit, but not just anyone. They prey on the socially crippled, the professionally stagnant, the desperate, and people who are terrified to try to make a living any other way. In other words, to do it legitimately. And people who can't ill afford to lose their fragile sense of belonging. These aren't allies, they're pawns, carefully chosen because they're easy to control. And in the famous words of Sheree Whitfield from the Housewives of Atlanta, who gonna check me, boo? Who's gonna check Tiffany in that group? People that may have felonies, checkered background, suspect, past. She knows where the bodies are buried, and she knows who to recruit and why. Now, that's just my observation. And the morally bankrupt, those that are desperate for a second chance. Why? Because they won't challenge her. They can't. Because to them, Tiffany isn't just their boss, she's their lifeline. She's the one thing keeping them afloat in a world that's already cast them aside. So to bite the hand that feeds them would be to admit defeat, not just in their professional lives or lack thereof, but in their very existence. So, this is the genius of a bully like Tiffany. She builds a fortress of dependency around her, fortified by people who have no choice but to stay loyal. It's not because they believe in her, it's because they can't afford not to. And when it's all said and done, the question arises, why would her allies challenge her? After all, they're not just protecting her, they're protecting their last shred of relevance in a world that's already closed the door on them. But the real tragedy of this story is when the bully falls, and they always do, the ones she recruited will fall even harder because for them, there's no backup plan. And of course, this would not be a YouTube story if I didn't have to add a disclaimer. Now, these are my personal opinions gathered from my observations from social media, news outlets, or other public records. And of course, at this point, it's all alleged. Now, this isn't just a story about Tiffany. It's about every bully who thought they could manipulate, dominate, and control without consequence. And for those still watching, the ending is always the same. The bully doesn't just fall, they're buried under the mess that they've created, and they've taken the blind with them. So when you see a bully's karma arrive, understand this: it's not just chance, it's justice. This season of reaping has been a long time coming, built on years of unchecked behavior, manipulation, and harm. Without them being forced to eat the fruit of their own ways, they would continue to destroy everything and everyone in their path, leaving lives shattered and chaos in their wake. So, karma isn't cruel, it's corrective. It reminds us all that no one no matter how powerful they may think they are, can escape the consequences of their actions. And when that day comes, it's not just about their downfall, it's about the restoration of balance for everyone that they try to crush along the way. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Southern Confidential. And for more on this developing story and all things true crime, don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell. And I will see you next time.